Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. Hope you're all doing well on this Tuesday night. Joining me, I've got a really special guest and a great friend of mine, great mate. You should all know who he is. It's Nick from Australia, NRL content creator, massive Cowboys fan as well. It's great to have Nick back on the channel again. It's good to see you, bro. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks for the invitation. I really appreciate it, bro. It's good to be on your channel. It's been a while. It sucks that we only play the Warriors once this year. I was hoping that we would play you guys twice, but looking forward to the game on Saturday. Should be a good one, and may the best team win.
Yeah, it's good to actually have you on again. I've had you on quite a few times, and it's always good to chat about the game coming up, Warriors Cowboys. Obviously, it's a massive game for both teams this week. Both teams needing to get the wins to keep climbing up that ladder to try and get into that top 8. And hello to everyone who's in the chat. Sort of like to pop into the chat quickly. So we've got El Matador. How's it going, El Matador? We've got Jose. Good to see you, Jose, in the chat there. As he says here, make sure you subscribe to this channel and subscribe to Nick as well. Help us both out as we try and get to 3K subscribers. We're both trying to get there. Nick's doing some great stuff as well. His vlogs, his content is always top class as well. So yeah, definitely go and subscribe to him. Hello to Josh Rabbitohs 2024, and hello to William Pearson in the chat as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So this game this weekend, but first I just want to give your thoughts going into the season, because I like to ask the fans what do they expect out of their team going to 2024. Now, last year was a tough year for your boys, no doubt about it. Didn't make the finals, but had a good year the previous year. So, like, going into the off season, what were your expectations, feelings? Leading into this year for your team, because you've got some great talented players in your squad. Obviously, Toddy Payton there, he's had a good year in his first year as Cowboys coach, and then last year it wasn't to be. So what were your expectations going into this year, Nick, for your boys?
Well, obviously, with our roster, considering we got so many guys in state of origin and a heap of players that play international footy as well for Tonga and Samoa and whatnot. Obviously, top 4 is the aim, right? But if you don't get top 4, then top 8. I said at the start of the year, obviously I'm going to back us for the top 4, but realistic expectations were top 8. I don't care if it's 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. It doesn't matter. As long as you're in that top 8, anything can happen on the day. That's my expectations. And you saw last week how many players we lost for state of origin. 6 players. So, top 4, top 6, somewhere, probably between 3rd and 7th is my expectation, somewhere between there. But, if you make the 8, anything could happen, bro.
Yeah, well said there. And looking at the off-season, how did the off-season track for your boys? Like, any major outs or ins coming into the side this year? You've obviously had some changes to your coaching staff with Jimmy Maloney coming on board as assistant coach, a former Warrior and a former New South Wales player. And yeah, obviously we Warriors fans know James Maloney pretty well, being that he played for us. And also another of our former Warriors staff, coaching staff, and Justin Morgan coming on board as assistant coach for your boys as well. So how do you reckon they're going at the moment with Jimmy Maloney? And obviously you met up with Jimmy Maloney. You got a photo with him at the Cowboys Leagues Club there. So how was that?
I did, yes.
It's a different feeling seeing James Maloney and the Cowboys.
James Maloney
than,
has been everywhere, man. He's been to the Warriors, the Storm, Roosters, Penrith, Cronulla. Now he's assistant coach up north. He's James Maloney's doing a fantastic job. I think he's brought something different to the team, different to the club. The culture is a little bit different. As in terms of off-season recruitments, we didn't do a whole lot of changing in the off-season. We sort of kept the same core together. We did bring a couple of outside backs in to the top 30. We did pick up Viliami Villia, who was at the Warriors
Mm.
actually not long ago, and he's actually been a really good buy for us. He's been really good, but he wouldn't have even been in the side if Zach Laybutt didn't do his ACL, or if Tom Chester didn't get injured
Yeah.
earlier in the year. So Villiers taking his opportunity really well, and as on Justin Morgan as well. He's probably the one that fans have been questioning the most because he's a defensive coach and he does all that. And our defense this year has been a bit of a roller coaster, up and down. So James Maloney, man, he's a good bloke. He's a funny fella, and I like what he's brought to the club. He's sort of changed a few things, and uh, the club's in good hands, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like everything's like obviously would like to be in the top 4 and whatnot, top
Mm.
6, but
Yeah.
we're building towards that. We're not that far away, and um, the club's in good hands. I do believe that we're in good hands.
Yeah, and I see you went up to Townsville this year for the very first time. What was that like? What was your experience of going to your first game in Townsville? How was the trip, and what was that
Yeah,
like
so I
as an
was in
experience?
Townsville about 13 days ago, so about 2 weeks ago. I went up there for my birthday on the Friday. We played the West Tigers and had a nice win. But no, Townsville, outstanding. I will definitely go back. I think it's a fantastic place. It's a fantastic area. The Leafs club is such a good part about it as well. The players go there after the games, whether you win or lose. They always go back there and thank the members and you know catch up with the fans and whatnot and take photos. It's a really different environment compared to what your Sydney clubs, your other clubs get up to after games and whatever. So it's a really different vibe up there, and I loved it. I'm going back up there hopefully in about 4 or 5 weeks. I've got to work it out, but I'll definitely go back up there another couple of times this year.
Yeah, so just popping into the chat here, we've got Greg joining us. So hello to Greg, as well as Enzo's just joined us as well. So good to see you, Enzo. Good to see you,
The
bro.
great
Hope you're
pro
doing well.
Enzo.
And yeah, it's good to see him. And hello to Peter as well. Peter Stowers, he says, "Let's go
Shout out to the
Warriors."
chat. Shout out to everyone
So,
that's watching.
shout out to everyone who's just joining us. Hello to everyone. Yeah, make sure you like this live stream if you haven't done so already, and subscribe to myself and Nick from Australia as well. Go and subscribe to both our channels, and we appreciate all the support that everyone gives us. So, just looking at the Cowboys results this season. So I'll go through some of the results and give your overall thoughts on how it's all planning out. So the first game you guys won in round 1 against the Dolphins was 43-18. That was up there in Brisbane at Suncorp. That
Great
was a
win.
game that you attended.
Yeah,
You
good
bet
fun.
the Knights. Yeah, you bet the Knights there 21-20 in round 2. That was in Townsville. You bet the Dragons 46-24 in round 3. And then there's a couple of a couple of losses as well in between there. You got lost to the Broncos, 38-12. Bet the Titans there, 35-22. And then you lost to the Eels and the Sharks. Then you lost to the Panthers in a close one there, 20-26. I thought that game was a game you guys could have won actually.
We come
You guys
back
were
from nowhere.
Yeah, you guys were written off a lot throughout that game, and you guys managed to give it a red hot crack. And then you lost to the Dolphins at home, 28-26. Probably a game where it was an opportunity.
That was a painful loss. We blew that game. We blew that. That was a painful loss.
Yeah, then you won against the Barneys here, 28-22 in round 11. Round 12, you won against the Tigers, 42-28. And then you beat the Roosters most recently, 18-16. So, what are your general thoughts on some of those results this season? That comes starting with those games, those early games.
Some good, some bad. I mean, obviously starting 3-0 was good, and then I don't know. We just seem to hit a flat spot. It's like you're driving a brand new car and it's going well for 3 weeks and there's no problems, and then all of a sudden you get a flat tire and you're like, oh crap. You start to get a little bit stressed out about it, and then you sort of go a bit up and down. I mean, the Parramatta game was one that I was really disappointed with, considering
Yeah.
they didn't have Mitchell Moses. That's a game where I'm like, you know what? That's one that we should win, and we didn't. The Cronulla
Mm,
game was terrible, terrible, absolutely terrible. I can live with the Panthers game. That was no one really gave us a chance to win that game, and we nearly did. Dolphins was the ultimate frustration. Like that was a game where we looked really good early, and then we just sort of let it go. All the other games in there we lost. Was it Rabbitohs we won?
yeah, you won against the Rabbitohs, and the
Magic
Titans
round.
Titans game in round 10, you lost to them as well.
Oh, the Titans game. The
Yeah,
Titans
yeah, I
game
know
at
you were
Haber.
entering that. Yeah,
That was like 72 minutes of the worst football. It was like the Sharks game. It was so bad, but in the Sharks game, we never fought back. Titans
Mhm.
game, we fought back, but it was just too late. And then, oh, that was dreadful, that Titans game. And then, obviously, we had a win at Magic Round, which was good.
Yeah.
Wasn't pretty, but got it done. It was a gutsy win, the Rabbitohs won. And then, obviously, fairly comfortable over the Tigers, but we let them back in after leading 20-0, which is a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, last week, nobody gave us a chance against the Roosters. Absolutely nobody. Every single tipster, expert
Yeah.
were saying Roosters 20 plus. Provenzo Vids is the only content creator that said 1 to 12, I think. So,
Yeah.
well, the Roosters game was outstanding. I was so proud to be there on Sunday, cheering on the boys and getting a win like that. Probably my favorite game of the year, to be honest.
Yeah, that game was just
Loved it.
outstanding from your boys, especially the way you hanged in there. Like the first half, the Roosters were on top of you, and then that second
They
half,
were on top.
they were definitely on top. And I don't know what I think it was. You guys played well, but also the Roosters as well. It's a mixture of them. Their mindset pretty much changed. I think in the second half.
I
I think as
agree.
Hainsey said, Hainsey questioned there. Shout out to Hainsey, he's a massive Roosters fan. Shout out to him.
Shout out
He
to
said his
Hainsey in
mindset.
general, bro. After the
Yeah,
game was over, like 25 minutes after the game was over, Hainsey come over and
yep.
shook my hand and said congratulations. And mate, he took the loss on the chin. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of other people out there that'll lose and they'll just walk out and they won't, they'll they won't say congratulations and they'll just walk off and be mad. So Hainsey
Mm.
was very humble in defeat, and I've got a lot of respect for Hainsey for that. That was very good. Appreciated that.
Yeah, and just a quick hello to you, Michael, in the chat as well. Good to see you, Michael. Hope you're doing well. Michael there, he's another loyal viewer to the channel as well. But yeah. So those were the results. Those were the results, and so far I think you're sitting in the 10th spot on the ladder at the
7-6 our record.
Yeah,
7-6.
7-6. Yeah.
Now, just mind you, we haven't even had a bye yet. Haven't even
Yeah.
had a week
Yep.
off. So if you give us one bye, we're probably in the
Mhm.
8. So we're equal 8th now. We're outside because of for and against, but we haven't even had a bye yet. So that's going to be definitely to our advantage at the back end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, and just actually on the games that I watched for you guys this year, there are some concerns around your defence. I think for me, I think that
Yeah,
is a little bit of a worry.
a little bit,
You are
yes.
leaking points at tandems for like when you're in the lead, then you give up a couple of points now and again. So, what are
Mm,
your thoughts here? Are you still a bit concerned on the defensive side of your boys at the moment, and how they're leaking a bit too many points? Because no doubt about it, Toddy Payton, he's really pretty high and quite strict on other things in the game. So, is defense still a concern for you? Because you can score points. You're definitely not
Look,
lacking
I think
in the
I think that there's a few ways you can go about it. I mean, we're going in the round 14, so we're pretty much at the halfway mark now of the NRL season. And to go into the halfway mark with a record of 7-6, and
yeah.
our defense has been ordinary, I would
Mm,
rather our defense be scrappy early than have defense problems at the back end. Like if we can get our defense right, over this period through State of Origin, and it's good going in towards the finals around that period. That's okay. I'm not too stressed about leaking 24 points, 26 points in a game in round 7 when there's still a long way to go in the season. Obviously, I'd like our defense to be great all year, but rugby league players are not robots. They're not going to be on all the time. You're going to have your bad days and your bad nights. It's how it goes. The players they're not strong enough to be on all the time. Like, you're going to have your bad days, but it is a little bit of a worry. I think we definitely need to fix it. But with all due respect to defensive side of things, you look at the top 4 sides, they're still leaking 20 points a game, and they're not too stressed about it. I mean, Brisbane conceded 36 to the Titans the other week. Penrith are still conceding like 18 a game at the moment. Roosters let in 30 against Cronulla recently. It's not. I wouldn't be panicking about defense at round 14. If we get to round 23 and I'm like, why is our defense still so bad? Then I've got concerns, but not at the moment. It's not the biggest concern, but definitely something that we need to work on for sure.
Yeah, and you've got, just looking at the side coming up, well, your side throughout the season, we've got good players that can, score,
we'll be okay.
Help you score points. The likes of Scotty Drinkwater. You got a very good, strong forward pack, some solid outside backs as well. So, I mean, you guys have got the team really to get the points, obviously, and defence obviously can be a bit shaky, but that definitely can be, sorted and fixed. There's still like time throughout the season to sort 100%. That out. But what player for you right now, like just looking at the season so far, what player is really standing out the most for you? Who's been your best player so far this season?
Tough question to answer because there's probably been 3 or 4 that are very close to each other. We've had a lot of players that have been very, very good, and it's hard to pick just one. So I'll give you 3 or 4 that have been probably our best every week. I can't go past Tom Dearden. He's been outstanding. I think Jeremiah Nanai has been absolutely outstanding as well. I think Reece Robson has been terrific. And I'd also throw in Ruben Cotter. They're probably the 4 players for us that have been the backbone of the team all year. They have been terrific. And also want to give a massive, massive mention to Sam McIntyre as well. And no one's been talking about Sam McIntyre. He's been doing a great job off the bench, coming on and playing a bit of lock forward. And I've been really impressed with Sam McIntyre. I think he's been really solid for us as well.
Yeah, there's those are some good standout players, I reckon. Especially with all of your players. I think the likes of your forwards, obviously there, who are great. And what's your thoughts just on how Taumalolo is going this year? Because he's having a bit of a quiet season so far. Well, what are your thoughts on Jason Taumalolo? How's he going right now?
A lot of people have got different opinions on Jason Taumalolo. I'll give you my opinion. I have had a look at the situation, and I'm going to be as honest as I can here. I think there's been a lot of unfair hate towards Jason Taumalolo. There's a lot of people, and a lot of young people in particular that still go to NRL games to watch Jason Taumalolo. I know he's not the player he was 4 years ago, and can't deny that, but he's had a couple of problems with his knees, had a few injuries and whatever, and he's had some good games, and he's had some games where he's been very quiet. I think the hate towards him is unfair, and he's one of those players where he's once in a generation. If he retired tomorrow, he'd go down as a legend and probably would be in the NRL Hall of Fame. So I think there needs to be a bit of respect towards Taumalolo, and I think there's a lot of people that aren't giving him respect lately. And I think, look, he's been up and down. You can't deny it. I thought on the weekend he was outstanding against the Roosters. There was a couple of other games where he was really good. West Tigers game, he was very good. Game against it was Penrith. He had a really good game there. So he's had some good games here and there. So the Rabbitohs a Magic Round. All right. There's a lot of unfair hate. It's been up and down, but when you're carrying a knee injury into a new season, your limits will be limited. I think he's still fine. It's just I think there's a couple of behind the scene things going on there, trying to manage him through, but he'll be fine, bro. He'll be all right.
Yeah, and I like Griffin Neame. I'm a big fan of Griffin Neame.
He's had a good season as well. He's had a very good season.
Definitely, I think Griffin Neame. Obviously, he played for the Kiwis actually last year. It was last year he played off the from my memory it was off the bench. From my
He did.
memory.
He did.
Yeah.
He I think it was the grand final, Australia New Zealand last year, and Griffin Neame destroyed the Kangaroos forward pack. He had a great game.
Yeah, he definitely did. And just popped into the chat. I've seen a super chat here. We've got a super chat from York.
$31.
30.99 from York. He's like, well done, Cowboys, and Nick on the win. So yeah, appreciate that support.
That's a very, very different message to what I got from him on Sunday night after the game was over. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, but is there a rookie at the moment this year you think we should be all looking out for, like a young player that is really standing up for you at the moment? The Cowboys got plenty of good young players coming through, but who's a young player you say is the rookie to watch for the future?
Well, we just saw two of them over the weekend, Jackson Purd and Jamal Shibasaki. I thought Jamal was great on the weekend. I'm not sure if you consider him a rookie, but based off, it's his first season at the Cowboys. I think Viliami Valia, I don't know if he would be considered as a rookie. He's been outstanding. It's his first full NRL season, I think, at a club where he's played a lot of footy, and I think Valia's going really well. So, but yeah, Jamal Shibasaki, massive future, bro. Massive future.
Yeah, definitely. And also you've got is it Funiaki?
I love Fini Filiaki. Love him to death. Great bloke. I'm still shattered that he's going to the Dolphins next year, but he's been great. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, so just actually now getting on to the game this week. So I'm starting off on Saturday, so we'll get into the team list and have a chat about the team list. So first things first, Nick. Actually, yeah, you'll go through the Cowboys team. Obviously they've been the home side, so you go through them. I'll get you to go through them as you're the guest of the channel. So it's you to go through them, and I'll go through the Wars team. There's been a few changes.
No worries. Well, obviously, all of our Origin players are in the reserves, so there's a strong chance that they'll back up, but we won't know till Friday if they're going to play or not. So the current team list is fullback Scott Drinkwater, on the wings Kyle Felt and Braden Burns. Centers is Jackson Purd and Viliami Valia. 5'8" for Jake Clifford, halfback Chad Townsend. The forward pack of Jordan McLean and Griffin Neame. Sam McIntyre starts at dummy half. Second row is Helam Lukey and Cooley Fini Filiaki. Lock forward is Thomas Michele. And the bench is Tom Chester, Harrison Edwards, Jamal Shibasaki, and Jason Taumalolo. Also, I just want to say quickly, you're talking about Cowboys rookies. We picked up Harrison Edwards at the start of the year. In both games he's played for us, I think he's been very good. And he's got a big future, I reckon. So, shout out to Harrison Edwards. Massive future.
Yep. And as for the Wars team now, so this is who we line up. We've got a few back this week from injury. So Chance is back at fullback. We've got Darlene Watini-Zelezniak on the wing, Rocky Berry and Adam Pompey centres. Marcelo Montoya on the other wing. 5'8" for Chanel Harris-Tavita, and halfback is Tamara Martin. So still no Sean Johnson. He's still not available. Well, supposed to be available this week, but he's still not fully fit yet. So it'll be Haas and Tamara Martin and Chanel Harris-Tavita to lead the way. And Adam Fanua Blake's back from a stand down from the club. He's starting prop. Wade Egan is also back from injury. He's a hooker, and Jackson Ford's been named in to play at prop with Marata Niokore in the second row with Mitchell Barnett and Tohu Harris lock. So the bench is Dylan Walker, Jazz Tavanga, Tom Ale, and Kurt Capewell returns to the side, and reserves of Freddie Lussick, Tane Tuapiki, Bunty Afo, Edward Cozy, and Moala Graham Taufa as well. So that's the Warriors team. Nick, what are your thoughts there, just generally on the Cowboys team first? What are your thoughts there on the team? Any surprises for you? Any shocks? Obviously, we don't know with a lot of the other players being named in the reserves, especially the Origin players. Do you expect a lot of them to all, line up on Saturday, or do you think some of them will be rested? What do you reckon?
Well, it's obviously hard to say because obviously it's tomorrow night is State of Origin, so we don't really know who's going to get through the game injury-free or not, and we obviously won't know till Friday if the Origin players will back up. What I think, if everyone gets free healthy, I think all of them will back up. I wouldn't be surprised if we gave Ruben Cotter a rest. Cotter's been playing big minutes for us majority of the year, so maybe rest Cotter, but excuse me. Didn't expect to see Sam McIntyre named at hooker. Apparently, Jake Granville injured his bicep, so that's probably why that's happened there. But no real shocks to the team, bro. Tom Chester at 14 is not a bad little option as well. So I think overall it's very strong.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts on the Warriors team there? Because I've looked at it, I had a look at it closely today as well. I did a bit of a stream reaction to team list and game while I took it around, but I had a quick look at it, and I saw that Jackson Ford at prop. What are your thoughts there on some of the selections the Warriors have made this week? Because it's quite interesting.
Jackson Ford at prop. I don't know what the go is there. I know Jackson Ford's form hasn't been as great since Sean Johnson was out of the side, and that's understandable because him and Sean Johnson have been building a good combo on that right edge. But to move him to the front row, I just don't really know why that has happened. But yeah, strange one. Overall, Warriors have got a very strong side, man. Very strong side for the Warriors. I think if I had to name a Warriors player that gets me nervous, and it gets anyone nervous, mate, Fanil Blake. I know he got dropped for the Dolphins game for some stand down thing, but a pissed off, fresh Fanil Blake is always something to get you a little bit worried. I think I'll have some restless nights with Fanil Blake this week, man. He's going to be a handful. I'm telling you. I'll be waking up at 3 a.m., sweating, having nightmares of Fanil Blake. He is a nightmare.
Yeah,
he really
definitely.
Is.
Yeah, he definitely wants to come in and prove a point after being dropped from that from the team due to club protocols, not doing obviously not following the club protocols, and the club was quite strong at not to just stand him down. So he would want a statement. I think the biggest surprise also for me was the fact that they've dropped Bunty Afo to the reserves.
Why? Why is Bunty dropped?
Yeah, I don't understand it. I think Bunty's been playing pretty well lately. His
he brings a lot of energy to the team.
He definitely has improved this year. I think he's definitely improved this year from last year's form. But yeah, just also looking at it, Jazz Tavanga on the bench with Dylan Walker, Tom Ale, and Kurt Capewell. And Kurt Capewell is back in the side now. I think this year Kurt Capewell hasn't quite done it hasn't quite proved performance-wise. I think he's had some injuries, definitely no doubt about it, but he hasn't really showed enough right now, in my opinion. So him in the 17, I'm just interested to see how he goes there. But
he's good for experience, but like
he is.
Even if he's been out injured, like he just comes in and he tells the young fellas what to do and gets them all in line. He's a good leader.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts? Just what are your thoughts on the halves pairing this week? Because you've got Jade Clifford there and Chad Townsend, and we've got Chanel and Tamari Martin. Were you surprised that Sean not named this week.
I
Because
was
a
expecting
lot of
I
us,
was
yeah,
expecting Sean Johnson to be named, to be honest with you, but he might not. He must not be ready. So
yeah,
fair enough. Obviously it's the Tomorrow Martin Cup on Saturday. It's going to be quite interesting there.
yeah, yeah,
um, no, Harris Tavita and Martin actually played pretty well together against the Dolphins.
mm,
What was it, 2 weeks ago? And thought they were very good together, and they didn't really panic when the Warriors were down against the Dolphins too. So no, I think they go all right together. And obviously Clifford and Townsend, they were good last week. Jay Clifford had a good game, and Chad Townsend the last 5 weeks or 6 weeks has
yeah.
definitely gotten a lot better. So to all the Chad Townsend haters out there, thanks for coming.
Yeah, and Greg is saying, I hope Sean Johnson comes back soon. I'd love to see him come back in this game. Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm
I'd
sure
say
he will.
next
And
week.
yeah,
I'd say
I
next
think
week.
they're resting him for the Melbourne game in New Zealand next week, which is
You'll
another big
definitely
game.
want revenge for that one.
Yes, we definitely would, because it's a game where we probably could have won earlier in the year on Anzac
You
Day, which
save your coats.
yeah, God. Anyways, but I see. Anyway, so if there are any mods in the chat, just want to know that you guys know if there are any mods in the chat, please make sure you keep the chat modified there. So yeah, but anyway, so basically, back on what I've thinking about the Cowboys team. So I like the looks of your team, really do. Um, I think for me the biggest the biggest threat for the Warriors is probably Scotty Drinkwater, and of course if he does play is Ruben Cotter. That just
Yes.
does line up, of course. So we don't know yet, based on
We won't know till
what.
Friday, probably,
Yeah,
to
we
be
won't
honest.
know. We won't know until the. It'll be pretty late until we know what's going to happen with any late changes to the side. So
That's the hard part about State of Origin.
yeah,
You know, some teams will name all your main stars in the reserves, and you
mm,
won't know until 24 hours before the game. That's why it's a hard round to do tipping, because
yeah,
you don't even know if they're going to back up or not.
yeah. As you can see, I've got someone trolling in the chat. So guys,
Don't even acknowledge it,
I'm
bro.
not gonna.
If they're going to come in and carry on, it's their
Yeah,
loss. I couldn't care
yeah.
less.
But yeah, if there are any modes, just ban them from the chat. Yeah. So
Easy, bro. Get rid of them.
yeah, but what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on your bench? Do you like the looks of your bench compared to ours? If you say who's got the strongest bench, or would you say they're both evenly matched? Because it's
Well,
quite
you know what?
yeah,
The Warriors bench is obviously a bit more experienced,
yep,
and you'd probably say the Warriors bench is better on paper, but when Tamalolo is on and he's going good, he's a very hard man to stop. But you'd probably pick the Warriors bench on paper. You probably have to, if
mm,
I'm honest.
yeah. I think with Dylan Walker coming on, and Dylan Walker's done some great. He's done a great
He has
job
been
playing lock.
outstanding, Dylan Walker.
He was awesome playing lock. And I know. I personally think this might be a bit of a controversial comment, but I feel like with Tohu Harris at the moment, I feel like you need to give. I think with us, we need to manage his minutes. Um,
Yeah,
I feel like we need to give him less minutes than what we usually do. I know he can play a full game. There's no doubt about it. But I think just think about it long term throughout the whole season, the back end of the year, we want a fully fresh Tohu Harris. And Tohu Harris is always getting hit quite a lot. So
yeah.
that's personally what I just feel like Harris could play less minutes. Um, and you could play I like some of Dylan Walker a bit more, give him more minutes. We look at Tom Arley as well, Jazz Savanga, a couple of
Well,
those players.
I've said this to you
Yeah,
privately. I think Harris would be better off playing in the front row. Him and
yeah,
Fanil Blake together,
yeah,
to be honest.
yeah, definitely. but I think in regards to obviously both sides, I think both teams have named very strong sides. But what are your thoughts? Just what are your thoughts on the Warriors so far this season? Because as an opposition fan watching it, how do you feel like they're going? Because we start off the season, there's a lot of expectations and there's a lot of pressure. There's always a lot of pressure. After a good year last year, what are your feelings as a neutral watching it? Like as a neutral
You know
fan,
what?
like
You know
yeah,
what? I don't want to really try and
yeah,
compare it to, you know, try and
mm,
compare it, but the
mm,
Warriors have started this season
yep,
extremely similar to how we started last season, where started real slow, didn't really get going until Magic Round, where we had that upset win over the Roosters. You guys had the upset win over the Panthers, and then obviously we had a big defeat not long after that, and then we sort of just went on a bit of a run. You guys in a similar spot. You started real slow. You had a couple of bad performances, and then you had that win at
yep,
Magic Round, which sort of just turned things on its head.
yep,
So the Warriors are starting to get their mojo back. So similar to how we started last year, I think we were like 3-8. I'm not
yeah,
sure what the Warriors record is now. I think it's like was 5-6 your record? Can't remember what your record is, but
yeah,
it's
similar.
definitely similar to how we were last year. Your record is 5-6. So you're just starting to get your bloody momentum.
Yeah, and what just looking at your fullback Scotty Drinkwater this year, I think
Yes,
last year was probably one of his best years in the Cowboys jersey.
100%.
I think he was well up there in the Dally M's too. I think he was in their top 10 in terms of the voting. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on this year and how he's going? Because I think he's had some games where he's been good and he's had some games where he's been not great. Well, what are your thoughts on Scotty Drinkwater? Because I absolutely love Scotty Drinkwater as a neutral. I think he's probably one of my favorite Cowboys to watch when he's on form. So, well, what are
Well,
your thoughts on how he's going?
I think last year he would have won Dally M if he didn't get suspended. So
Yeah,
that's how close he came to winning the whole damn thing. But I think what's happened now is I think when teams are preparing to play the Cowboys, they're doing a
mm,
lot of homework on Scott Drinkwater and where he's going to be on the field and the way he sets up and gets in position. I think a lot of
yeah,
teams have really prepared for it and they've sort of done their homework on him. Um, it's one of those things where he's had some great games, he's had some not so great games. I think he's been up and down, but the whole team has. We've had an up and down season, so I think Drinkwater's been fine the last 4 games or so, but he's starting to find his mojo back, and I think he's going to have a really big back end of the year.
yeah. He definitely is a player where you love to see
He's
in
dangerous
form.
too.
He's dangerous. He brings that strong dynamic in the attack, especially. He's a really good attacking player.
He brings that unpredictability where he could throw a 25-meter cutout ball to a winger, and
Yeah.
you're like, how the hell did he do that? Or he could put a left foot step on the inside and beat 2 guys, and he's away. He's a very dangerous player.
Yeah, and just want to ask you on Toddy Payton because I forgot to ask you this one a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Just got off a bit of off topic for just a sec, so apologies, guys. But what are your thoughts on Toddy Payton? Well, this year, as a lot of pressure. Do you feel like there's more pressure on him this year, considering that he didn't get you to the finals last year, and obviously he had a good year the first year as a Cowboys coach, but missed the finals last year. So, is there a bit more pressure on Toddy Payton this year, compared to what it was?
Well, I think if we don't make the finals,
Yeah,
then yeah, the pressure will definitely go up. Like
mm,
I think at the moment he's doing a really good job. I think we've had a fair bit of adversity
yeah,
go against us. We've had
yeah,
a few injuries, but every club has, so can't really use that as an excuse. But
mm,
I think we're just trying to find the right balance in the team and just trying to find the right pieces to solve the puzzle and whatnot. So I think obviously at the moment he's doing like a solid, 8 out of 10 job. He's going well. But
Yeah.
if we don't make the finals, he goes from an 8 out of 10 to probably a 50-50 chance of being
Yeah.
under a lot of pressure. I think he's safe at the moment, but
Yep.
if we don't play finals, that temperature is going to drop.
Yeah, and looking at the coaches this year and how many coaches have been under pressure and have got sacked, the likes of
Yeah, two
Brad
have been sacked already.
Arthur. Yeah, there's been two. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's a couple more. It's the business of the NRL. It's the reality and the business of
Yeah,
it.
we're going to
You
find
know, you
out,
know.
aren't we?
Unfortunately, when you don't get the results, you're gone. You're out of the door. So
I
that
think
being
we're a bit loyal to him. I don't think we'll kick him out,
mm,
even if we do miss the 8. But I think I think if we miss finals, Todd
yep,
Payton will survive. But I think going into 25, the pressure will be major. There'll be a
yeah,
lot of pressure.
yep. And Mel, hello to Mel in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Mel. Saying here, tough to choose a team for this because of my personal connections with the Cowboys. But hoping the Warriors get the win would be okay with either teams winning. So he's a bit on the fence there, Mel, with the teams this week. So yeah, just looking at the betting prices. I want to have a pop into the betting prices for this game.
Yep.
It's really interesting. So I'll put it on the screen there. So at the moment, the Cowboys, North Queensland Cowboys, not surprisingly, are the favourites for this one at $1.54, and the Warriors are paying at $2.48 via Sportsbet Australia. So, what are your thoughts here on those odds, Nick? You being a bit of a your betting man, sport. You love your betting as well. What are your thoughts here on the prices there for this one? Do you think it's fair, or I think the Cowboys definitely deserve favourites, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think we deserve favourites because it's in Townsville. But
Yeah,
gee, I tell you what, I think the market should be a bit closer than that.
yeah,
Considering we named our Origin players in the reserves, you'd think
mm,
the prices would be a bit closer. Going into it, I thought, maybe it would be $1.70 and Warriors might be about 2.10, 2.15. $2 was $2.55 for the Warriors. That's a
yeah,
little bit surprising. But I think the sports bet market, I think they're expecting the Cowboys players to all play
yeah.
Saturday. So that's probably why that the prices are what they are. But I think it's gonna be 1-12. I think it's gonna be a close game nonetheless.
Yeah, and we've been underdogs through the past couple of weeks, to be honest. Like against the Dolphins at home, also against Penrith away, in Brisbane on Magic Round. Yeah, I think two of those results. We're under strength. We've had a lot of injuries this year, and a lot of players out, and that's definitely not helped us. But it's also given the likes of the younger players an opportunity to show their case, and they have done that over the last couple of weeks. So, especially that win against the Dolphins, which was a tough win, especially with the
Mm.
Dolphins being in the top four and doing so well this season, and that Penrith game, which I was at, and how much of a win that was. It was a huge result because I did not expect that, and I really was surprised with the fact that we got up and got the result. Over there in Brisbane. But just looking at the head-to-head stats in the stats for both teams this season. So we've played 43 times against each other since 1998, and the Warriors have won 22 to the Cowboys 21. It's very close in the head-to-head record there. The last meeting was last year. We had two games against you, and the one we won against was in round 7, 2023, 22-14, and round 3, which was early in the season up in Townsville, and we won that 26-12. So, what are your thoughts there on the old head-to-head stats there between the two sides? Because we've always had good games against the Cowboys. They've always been close matches, tight games, great matchups as well, and obviously, Toddy Payton had a connection with the Warriors when he was coaching us for a little bit of the time, and you've got some of the players that used to play. The likes of Peter Hickey played him. He's gone now off the UK. So what are your thoughts here on the general closeness of that head-to-head battle?
Well, it just goes to show that no team really has it over the other. It's always both teams have their fair share of wins against each other. It's always fairly even. And yeah, we've had some great games over the years, Cowboys and Warriors. I remember, I think it was 2021, we played the Warriors in Townsville. I think it was a Val Holmes field goal with like a minute left, which won it for us, 29-28.
Yeah.
And then the Warriors, they obviously beat us in another really good game. Central Coast, I think it was that same year, might have been, or whatever, during COVID. So there's been a lot of good Cowboys Warriors games over. There's obviously last year, the game in New Zealand was a good one. I know the Warriors got the job done there, but that was a decent game of rugby league. So they're always solid games. And I think this one on Saturday is not going to disappoint. I think we're going to see another really good game.
Yeah, and just other stats that I looked at here was the Cowboys this season scoring 335 points. The Warriors at 240 in them. Points conceded, Cowboys 331 to the Warriors 243. Completion rates, the Cowboys 76%, Warriors 82%. Tackle efficiency 87% for the Cowboys, Warriors 88. Average points scored, 25 for the Cowboys, Warriors 20, and average points conceded 25. Cowboys, Warriors 20. So, what are your thoughts there on those stats there, Nick? What do you read out of those stats so far this season for your boys and us? What are you thinking there?
Well, basically, what it's saying is that we're going to see some points this weekend. It's going to be a fairly high-scoring game. I expect it to be, fairly, maybe not too high-scoring, but I can see us both scoring, 3 or 4 tries each.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of predictions now, so we'll get into the predictions, the final part of the preview for tonight. Next, so put your heart and your head on the line. What do you reckon in regards to this game? Do you reckon your boys can win this well, or do you reckon this will be a very close game? How do you reckon? What are your score predictions and try score? Anytime try score and a first try score prediction.
I refuse to believe that the Warriors will be easy. I think this is going to be a tough game. The Warriors are a worthy, tough opponent, man. This is going to be a 1-12 game, bro. I'm going to go the Cowboys to win. Obviously, I'm thinking something like 26 points to 18, so an 8-point win. I'll go. It's hard to pick try scorers because we don't even know if half the team's going to play or not because of Origin. But I'll go Scott Drinkwater as the first try scorer. I think Drinkwater can score first. And anytime, I reckon Dallin Martinez-Lesniak will score for the Warriors because he always bloody does. He's a handful. And for the Cowboys, anytime try scorers, you know what? I'm going to go with Hillam Lukey. He's going well. Hillam Lukey in the back row.
Yeah, not bad. I'm going to obviously back the boys in here. Back the boys always. So we're going to go Warriors 20. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to go Warriors 20. Cowboys 18.
Oh, real
that
close.
Yeah, that close. And try scorers, geez, I'm going to say first try scorer. I think the Cowboys will probably score first, so I'm going to go with the Cowboys player. I'm going to say, I'm going to go Kyle Felt, first try scorer.
Like it.
And anytime, I'm going to say Dallin Martinez-Lesniak, DWZ.
Yeah.
I'm also going to put in Adam Pompey in the centres. I'm throwing that. And a forward, who should I back here? I'm going to say Marata Niokore. I'm going to go in Marata Niokore. It's a bit of an unusual pick, but I'm going to go with Marata Niokore there. And for a forward for the Cowboys, I reckon someone like I'm going to go with a Griffin Neem. Griffin Neem.
Like it.
Yeah. And I'm just popping into the chat. So Jose is saying Adam Fanua first try and Jazz Tabanga anytime. Cowboys will go with Val Holmes. So
I'll be shocked if
that,
Jazz Tavaga scores.
yeah. Oh, that'd be a huge surprise if he gets the first try score, especially. But I think that is it. That wraps it up, Nick. Thanks
Wraps it up, brother.
Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you giving your time up.
Thanks for inviting me on, bro. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks to all the viewers as well for tuning in and interacting in the live chat. And yeah, looking forward to the game. May the best team win on Saturday. And go the Warriors, up the Wars. And
Go the Cowboys.
Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Make sure you give this video and live stream a like. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button. And make sure you also don't forget to go and subscribe to the guest, Nick from Australia's YouTube channel. He does some brilliant content, his vlogs. His NRL content is probably for me the best, the best in content world, in my opinion.
Thank you very much.
And although I'm very biased, but he is one of the best in my opinion. So yeah, go and check him out. Go and subscribe to Nick from Australia. And also, please, guys, don't forget. Also, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. We are trying to get to 2,700 subscribers. I believe we're getting close to that 2,700 subscriber mark, and trying to get to 3K subscribers by the end of the 2024 season as well. So hopefully we can get there real soon. But cheers, everyone. Have a good one. Go the Warriors, up the Wars, and also enjoy Origin tomorrow night as well. Have a good one. Cheers.